Welcome back to the Dice Cast, here from the Just Hammer bunker again.
Welcome back, everybody. We've made some adjustments. We're getting into a new edition of
That's right.
Dice Cast.
We've upgraded some of the stuff here. The table setup's going to be a little bit nicer. The board's going to be a little bit smaller, and hopefully get some tighter shots on that. And we're excited about the 3rd edition rules.
I'm going to be super rusty here. Or, I don't know if you can call it rusty when you haven't played something yet, but
Sure.
There'll be a lot of book checking and...
Unpolished.
Unpolished. That's a good word for it.
So it is our first 3rd edition game. We are going to be going through the rules and making sure that we get everything right. But there's going to be some stops and starts here along the way as we really get things figured out. Hope you enjoy the game.
Yeah, I'm super excited to get Kragnos on the table, and super excited for some monsters being more monstrous and heroes being more heroic. So
Absolutely.
let's have some fun.
This battle report is the result of the poll that we had on the channel, and the winner of that poll of who you wanted to see against Kragnos was emphatically Soulblight Gravelords. So, here's my list.
People love the dead guys.
Alright, so Soulblight Gravelords list. This is a little bit similar to my last list. This is a Virkos Dynasty list. I'm running Belladama Volga as my general and the Vengorian Lord as another general. Vengorian Lord has Pack Alpha and Sangsaron, the artifact, so he does extra attacks on the charge. Then I've got a Necromancer and Manfred rounding out my heroes. Manfred's been so good for me, I just want to keep him. The Necromancer has the Arcane Tome artifact, so he's a 2-cast wizard instead of 1. For my battle line, I've kind of got one of each. 1 wolves, 1 skeletons, 1 zombies. Just bodies out on the board. For my units, I've got 2 units of 5 Blood Knights, which are really a winner in 3rd edition. Really excited about them. 20 Graveguard, the real meat grinder. And then I'm running 3 battalions. I've got a Warlord battalion, that's what's getting me my extra artifact and an extra command point once per game. I've got a Battle Regiment battalion to lower my drops a little bit. And then I've got the Hunters of the Heartlands, the battalion from the General's Handbook. And that's going to allow me to prevent monster shenanigans from Kragnos on my units of Blood Knights and the Graveguard. We'll see how it works. Virkos was a little bit lackluster for me last time, but I think it's got a lot of power.
So, super excited to get Kragnos on the table. My thinking was Kragnos is going to need some bodies. He's a beefy boy with the new 3rd edition points. We just found out that he got lowered to 695, even though no one had played him at 760. But you know what? I'll take it. The rest of the army went up, so actually the list I had written earlier this week, I had to drop a unit of Savage Orcs from it. So I'm kind of sticking towards the Bone Grins list I played earlier in one of the bat reps. It's going to be 3 Warlocks. 1 is the general, who'll have the right monster. He will have Brutal Beast Spirits. 1 will have Mark's Bony Bits, which gives +1 to cast, and he'll have Cunning Beast Spirits. And then the last Warlock will have the Breath of Gorkamorka, which is pretty key to increasing the move of all my Bonesplitterz units. And then, of course, we have the big boy. We have Kragnos. Backing him up, I'll have 2 20-packs of Savage Orcs, 2 5-packs of Savage Boar Boys. All of them are bringing Stickas, except for the Boar Boys are bringing Chappas. And then I have a 4-pack of the Savage Big Stabbas. I feel like Bonesplitterz can lack a little bit in being able to get models off the table, so I'm hoping between Kragnos and just that 4-pack I can do some damage. This is all wrapped up in the 1-drop battalion. I want to be able to control who gets first turn, so I made sure that this will be actually 2 drops because one of my leaders couldn't fit in it. But I'm hoping, typical Bonesplitterz screening, board control with a lot of bodies. We have a smaller board now. So we'll see if I can play it well. We'll see if I can beat these beastie dead guys. So I'm looking forward to it. You ready to do this?
Let's do it. Alright, so we've got the Vice here. It's one of the brand new General's Handbook battle plans. The idea with this one is that the objectives are going to start in the corners, all 4 corners, and then as the game progresses, they're going to move toward the middle until eventually there's just one objective in the center of the board that we're squaring off over. Really interesting battle plan. We do start on the short ends of the board, moving toward the middle. I'm going to be deploying first with the Gravelords, but I will definitely not win deployment because we've got a 2-drop on the other side of the board. So, all right, good luck, Justin.
Good luck.
Alright, there we are at the end of deployment. My Grave Guard are still in the grave. Both of us have tagged both of our corner objectives here with a unit. And we're ready to go at it.
I have 8 units of Bonesplitterz, so I get to move forward 5 inches. So I'm actually going to drop back. Into my territory and give Nick the first turn.
Makes sense to me.
My thinking is that I want Nick to have to decide what to do first. Alright.
Alright, sounds good. I will be then taking top of round 1. So a little bit of bookkeeping for 3.0 that we're not quite used to yet, but my general's on the battlefield, and then at the start of the turn, I get my 1 command point, so I'm going to go to 2 command points from that. Meanwhile,
I will get 2 for going second, and 1 from my general being on the table.
Okay, so you're up to 3, and we have top of round 1, Soulblight going first. Alright, in the top of round 1 then, I'm going to pick the battle tactic of Ferocious Advance. I'll pick 3 different units for my starting army on the battlefield. I complete the battle tactic if all of the units I picked ran in the following movement phase and finish that run within 3 inches of each other. If all 3 of those units are monsters, score an additional victory point. So the 3 units I'm going to pick are going to be Manfred, my Vengorian Lord, and Belladama Volga.
So they all have to run.
They all have to run.
And they all have to finish within 3 of each other.
Correct. And if they are all monsters, I get an additional victory point. Currently,
is she a monster? No.
Currently, she's not a monster. I'm going to see if I can change that. The other 2 are.
This game is getting too complicated.
My heroic action then for top of turn 1 is going to be Manfred is going to attempt to generate an extra command point, and on a 4-up, he will get that command point. He did not get the command point, so I'll stay on the number of command points I have.
My heroic action, this Wardock right here, this little cutie, is going to also attempt to get a command point on a 4-up.
Fail. Wow. Alright, so we both got our 1s. The dice are starting off hot.
Heroic actions are dumb.
Alright, and then I will go into my hero phase proper. And the first thing I'm going to attempt to do is cast Metamorphosis on Belladama Volga. That is the spell from the realm of Gur that will turn her into a monster for the turn. And that is going off on a 12.
I cannot stop it.
Okay, she is now a monster. Vengorian Lord's going to attempt Mystic Shield. And he's getting it on an 11. Pretty useful. He's going to cast Mystic Shield then on this leading unit of Blood Knights. Manfred is going to cast Arcane Bolt. He's got a 5 right now. I'm not sure if that makes it with the new Arcane Bolt rules. Arcane Bolt is on a casting value of 5. It's got a range of 12 inches, but interestingly, it no longer has to go off immediately. So Manfred's got Arcane Bolt on him, and I can use it at the start of a phase until my next hero phase. Manfred is going to use a command ability, so his aura is up. That's +1 to hit and +1 to wound, wholly within 12 of him.
Weren't you supposed to roll for the Vengorian as far as what he can do?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Rolling for the Vengorian. Got a 4, so he can use command abilities. He cannot run and charge currently. Belladonna is going to attempt her War Scroll spell on the Dire Wolves. This is her second cast, and she's getting it on a 9. So the Dire Wolves have exploding 6s now. The Necromancer is going to attempt Van Hells on the Skeletons. Gets it on a 7. And I believe that will wrap things up for hero phase. So going into my movement phase here in turn 1, this feels like a very unconventional game with the objectives starting out so spread out in the corners. We're getting some markers out for those. I think my best bet is going to play it relatively passive here. Try to rack up as many secondary points as I can here early on. And then I'll really swing into the fight going forward. But I think I'm mostly just going to be hanging back. And there we are at the end of movement. As mentioned, played it very passively. I do complete my battle tactic because these 3 all ran and congregated within 3 inches of each other. So that's a successful battle tactic for me. Because Belladonna casts the Metamorphosis spell, she's a monster, so I will get the extra victory point for that. Definitely a strange sort of turn for me here. No shooting, no charging. Graveguard are still in the grave, still in hiding, and really just holding back to wait for the objectives to come to the middle when we can really start fighting. But even though I moved away from these objectives, I do control them thanks to the 3.0 rules. So I'm going to score 2 objective points. I don't control more objectives than you, but I do control 2 of them. And then 3 for my battle tactics, so a total of 5 points. And then we can get into the bottom of round 1. Go ahead with your command points.
So I'm going to get another one. I'm going to go up to 3.
And I get another command point as well, because my journal's on the battlefield.
I'm going to, if I understand this battle tactic well enough, I'm going to choose Monstrous Takeover. When you reveal this battle tactic, pick 1 monster from your starting army on the battlefield. Complete this battle tactic if the monster is contesting an objective marker that you control at the end of the turn and the objective marker is not contested by an enemy monster. Feeling good about this one. Feeling really good.
Good luck.
So because Nick was a total wimp and didn't come at me, bro, I am gonna be even wimpier and choose to do next to nothing this turn. So I'm going to start out and I'm going to pick my heroic action. I again am going to take one of my war dogs. I'll take this guy right here. And I am going to try to roll a 4. Rolled 2 1 so far.
I'll be doing the same thing with Manfred, trying to get that extra command point. I failed as well.
It's a hot game. This Warlock is gonna hop around and do his dance. On a 3 up, he is going to give this unit +1 to save. Nope. That's 3 1s in a row if you're counting. This Warlock is going to attempt to give this unit in front of him +1 to save.
You may want to switch dice.
No, this one's due. This guy is going to attempt to give the unit in front of him +1 to the save. Yes. Ooh. So they are +1 to save. I will put the Warlock Dance down. A new rule: all Wardocks are priests, and you can chant. There's a couple of them. I am going to try to do the Bless. It will be on a 4-up. I'm going to use this Warlock right here. He's going to try to get it to Kragnos. If he gets it, Kragnos will have a 6-up after save. Look at that.
Got it.
Dice is getting hot. So Kragnos now has a 6-up after. Into spells. He's going to try to cast Cunning Bee Spirits on a 6. No. He is going to try to cast Breath of Gorka Morka on an 8. He will get it. That will double the movement of these guys if I...
Sure.
And then he is going to attempt to cast Brutal Beast Spirits. He will get it on the 6.
Okay.
He's going to put it on you guys. Just basically +1 to hit and gives him +1 to move. That all being said and done, I will go into movement. So that's going to end my turn. I decided not to do anything with my turn. I am getting my crew fired up for a couple turns from now. And that's all there is really to say.
So that puts you on 4 victory points then for your turn, getting your battle tactic and then the 2 objectives that you control. So neither of us really breaking the game open. We will go into a priority roll, but before we do that, our command points are going to reset, and we'll be starting from fresh, going into the top of round 2. Here's our priority roll. I got the 5, and I will go ahead and give you the turn in the top of round 2.
Well, that last turn was exciting. Wait till you get to this one.
So you're going to start on 2 command points?
Yep.
And I will start on 3. What do you like for your heroic action?
We're going to try. We're going to get this command point. On a 4-up.
No. I'll go for the same thing with Manfred. And I did get it. 1 more command point for me. And what do you want your battle tactic to be?
I am going to pick the same one you picked the turn before. Ferocious Advance. This Warlock is going to attempt to give these guys +1 to save. He will get it. He is also going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield on the front row. We'll get it. So those guys are currently +2. He is going to attempt to give these guys +1 to save. We'll do it. These guys, this guy will attempt to give himself +1 to cast. we'll do it. He is going to attempt to cast or do bless on Kragnos. Will not do it. He is going to attempt to cast again Rocket Fork and Morka. He's going to get it on a 10, 11, no 10. He is going to attempt to cast Cunning Beast Spirits on the front. He's going to get it on a 8. So, +2 to save. +2 to save. These guys can double their move again.
Much more effective prayer phase this time.
Yeah. Although I really would have liked to get Kragnos. A little bit of after save. I don't know if it's going to matter, but...
Which units did you pick to run?
Oh, I'm sorry, it was these 3.
Sure.
In the movement... I'm actually gonna call that my turn. This is a real game of chicken. Kind of waiting for someone to make a move here. They can play for the double, which is nice for him to get us started off. I kind of put up the shields all over the place. But yeah, it's not very exciting.
Hopefully things will get a little bit more exciting in this next turn. You did complete your secondary objective, your battle tactic, and so that's going to net you 2 points, plus the 2 objectives you control, for a total of 4 victory points in the top of round 2. And we'll go into Soulblight Gravelords, bottom of round 2. And so we each gain 1 command point in the hero phase, and my battle tactic is going to be the same one that you chose in the first round. My battle tactic this time is going to be Monstrous Takeover, based on having 1 monster in control range of an objective. And let's see what we can get done here. Belladonna is going to start by trying to cast Metamorphosis on herself again to try to turn herself into a monster. And she's going to get that on a 9. So she is a monster again for the turn. Let's see. Oh, I need to check if the Vengorian is going crazy. Hey, he is not. He's still got himself composed. He's going to attempt to cast...
So it's got to be below the battle round?
Or equal to, I think. The Vengorian is going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield on the back unit of Blood Knights. He's out of range of the front unit of Blood Knights. He failed it with his first roll, but because I'm Virkos, he gets to reroll that. And so that's going to go off on a 7. Manfred is going to attempt Arcane Bolt. And that's going to go off on a 6. The Necromancer is going to attempt Van Hells on the unit of skeletons in front of himself. And that's going to go off on an 8. And then Belladonna is going to attempt a War Scroll spell on the unit of Direwolves. And that's going to go off on an 11. So they have their exploding 6s. And now let's see if we can liven things up a little bit, potentially. So, as we go into the movement phase here, I am going to bring down my Grave Guard at the end of the movement phase and try to get some action going, knowing that if they fail the charge, I'm really going for the double. And if they do succeed at their charge, they can do a lot of work even without the support out there. I've got enough command points to at least help them out. And other than that, it's going to be a relatively passive turn, just making sure I secure my objectives. potentially be able to do a little bit better than just secure my objectives if the Graveguard do succeed at their job. There's where I sit at the end of movement. The Graveguard are going to come down, and we'll see what they can do. Hopefully they can at least make things messy here. Alright, so I couldn't bring down the Graveguard exactly where I wanted. I really wanted to be able to come in here and maybe take that objective, but because of the boar boys over here and how that was laid out, I wasn't going to be able to take the objective and deep strike on that grave site and still be wholly within 12 there. So I had to come in off this other grave site. It still leaves me a 9-inch charge to get in, and I would definitely like to make it. So we are on to the charge phase, no shooting. That's at 5. I'll go ahead and spend a command point to re-roll that with the unit champion. And they failed the charge on a 6. Definitely not where I want my Graveguard to be, but such is life. Going for the double at this point, I guess. My battle tactic is completed because Belladama as a monster is contesting that objective. Still control the 2 objectives, and so I'll score 4 points. So moving into the top of round 3, the command points reset once more. And this is looking to be a relatively important priority roll. Now normally at this point in GUR you pull an objective off of the table. These are prime objectives, so they don't get pulled off the table except by the rule in the battle plan, which we'll get to in round 4. All right, good luck on the priority.
So I'm going to win ties here.
You got it?
Yeah. Ugh. No Nick is itching for this turn, so that makes me want to take it. Screw it. It's Nick's turn. Let's see what you can do.
All right. A lot of debate there, and then it comes down for Soulblight in the top instead. And so that means I've got 2 command points at the start to your 3. Alright, for my battle tactic, I'm going to go ahead and choose Savage Spearhead. If there are 2 or more units from my starting army wholly within my opponent's territory at the end of the turn, I succeed at it. And if 2 or more of those are monsters, I get an additional victory point. For my heroic action, I'm going to attempt to generate an extra command point with Manfred on a 4-up. He fails it.
I'm going to try for a command point.
Okay.
Let me get it.
And you got it. So that puts you to 4 command points to my 2. During my hero phase, I'm going to spend a command point on Manfred for his ability. So that's a 12-inch bubble. +1 to hit, +1 to wound. Fully within. And then I will begin my casting. And I'm going to... Oh, I need to check if the Vengorian Lord is frantic. And he is not. He's still able to function. So I'll begin my casting. Belladama is going to attempt her War Scroll spell on the Direwolves. And she gets it on an 8. Belladama is then going to attempt Levitate on the unit of Blood Knights directly in front of her. And she failed that, but she's got the reroll from Virkos. getting it on 10, so they can now fly for the turn. The Vengorian is going to attempt, Manfred's going to attempt Mystic Shield, getting it on an 8 currently.
I will try to unbind. I have no pluses, so it's going to be a 9 on dice that I need to roll.
Okay, so Mystic Shield is going to go on... Mystic Shield's going to go on this unit of Blood Knights right here. The Vengorian is going to attempt to cast Amethystine Pinions. He's getting it on an 8, so he gets +6 movement. And then for my last, not my last spellcast. The Necromancer is going to Van Hells on the Skeletons. Failed it on a 5. And then Manfred is going to attempt... he is not a Virkos vampire. Manfred's going to attempt Arcane Bolt and fails it on a 4. That's going to conclude my hero phase, and we will get on to movement phase. My movement phase here is going to be relatively straightforward. My Graveguard are going to kill everything they can this turn, and then I've got to get 2 of my monsters up into your territory to complete my battle tactic. And I think this could be the time to start pushing into your territory and really start the battle up, although Kragnos is very much a concern.
Should be. I am going to spend a command point to do the reaction where I get to move D6 any way I choose.
Sure. 2 inches.
Not what I wanted.
I'm going to go into charges then, and I will attempt to charge first with my Graveguard. Need a 7. They got an 8. And so they are definitely going in, it's just a question of where. Combat activations are going to be relatively easy here. I'm just going to get all my Graveguard in. Thirteen of the Graveguard then got in. They're wholly within, just wholly within Manfred's aura, +1 to hit, +1 to wound. And so that's going to be, one of them's the leader that's in, so it's going to be a total of 27 attacks from the Graveguard. Alright, so we got 27 attacks coming in, currently on 2s and 3s.
Did you roll one?
Got a few. Four ones. And then 3s to wound.
Make up for it here.
Hopefully. Now, 6s to wound are a mortal wound in addition, so it looks like I collected 3 of those, so 3 mortal wounds, and then 5, 10, 17 at -1.
So I'm going to ignore the -1, and I'll still get +1, so I'm going to be on 5 up saving. So this is going to be the 17 on 5s. So I saved 5, so that means 12. So 24 damage plus 4.
Plus 3.
Plus
I think it was 27 damage then in total.
So we have 27 success. Let me
Decent number of 6s. Very good number of 6s.
3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to take 21 damage. That's going to kill 10 and a half. And then we'll pile in with these guys. These guys have a 2-inch reach, but I am going to keep one out so I keep a lane for Kragnos to come out of.
Sure.
So we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's going to be 18 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s. Take it back, 4s and 4s. Oh, and I get one more for the lead. Not really expecting this attack to do over much. And 4s. So we're gonna get in with 5.
All right, 5 of them on Norend.
Alright.
5 ups, and I succeeded at 2 of those. Then I've got my 6-up Deathless, and that is going to be 3 dead Graveguard.
I'm gonna finish. That's gonna be it.
Okay. Battle Shock.
So I have the triumph that I get to roll a dice and then see what Battle Shock is. I could also just use my Battle Shock for the turn. I have 3 command points left. I'll get another one, another 2 at the beginning of the next round.
Another 1 at the beginning of the next turn.
Okay.
And potentially 2 with the heroic.
Potentially 2. I'm gonna spend a command point.
Okay. And I'm fine on Battle Shock. I only lost 3 there. So overall, a relatively successful turn for me. I didn't take a whole lot off the table, and I put myself in a position where your double turn could be relatively devastating, but I did get in a position where I control 3 objectives to your 2. I also got my battle tactic completed with the bonus for having 2 monsters in the territory. That may be something that I get punished for, pushing that far forward, but it does give me a little bit of a lead on victory points going into the bottom of 3. So I will score 6 victory points. And we are now in the bottom of 3. Bonesplitterz is active. We're each going to gain 1 command point for our generals being alive.
I'm gonna take Conquer.
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 Alright, so what's Conquer?
When you reveal this battle tactic, pick 1 objective mark on the battlefield that your opponent controls. Actually, yeah, this is gonna be an easy one. Complete this battle tactic if you control the objective mark again. I should have just won that one.
Alright, so Conquer, and do you pick the objective at the beginning, or?
Yeah, I'll take that one.
I don't know if you do or not. Did you pick it?
Yeah, pick 1 objective mark on the battlefield.
Okay, so that one. Got it.
Okay, into my hero phase. I'm gonna try to get an extra command point.
Yep.
Nope. I rolled a lot of ones.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with Manfred.
He got it.
And then I am going to dance. I'm going to try to get these guys +1 to save.
Sure.
No, I'm going to try to get himself +1 to cast. Nope. I am going to attempt with this guy to give himself +1 to cast. He will do it. I'm going to attempt for him to get these guys. He's going to try to get those guys +1 to save. And he will.
Okay.
Yeah. I am going to attempt to do the 6-up. On a 4-up, I will bless Kragnos. Nope. I'm going to attempt to cast. He is going to attempt to cast Breath of Corpus.
Okay.
He's going to get it on a 9.
I'll attempt to unbind with the Vengorian Lord. Failed it. Goes off on a 9.
Yep. So Breath of Corpus is on these guys.
Sure.
I'm going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield. I'm not going to get it.
Okay. But you avoided the miscast.
It's on a 5, right? Or Mystic Shield on
yes.
So he will technically get it because he gave himself +1 from the dance, and he's got +1 negative to his.
Okay, so he's got it on a 5. Manfred's going to attempt to unbind.
And he will unbind on a 12.
He is going to attempt to cast Brutal Beast Spirits. He's going to get it on a 9.
And Manfred's last unbind attempt, it's going to go off.
Okay, so Brutal Beast Spirits, Breath of Corpus mark over there.
Got it.
Into movement. I think what I'll try to do is charge into this group of things with those guys and kind of playing for the devil at this point.
Sure.
With potentially moving these guys kind of up into there, kind of maybe swamping the bodies on so that they just don't have a lot of space to move. Taking care of the Graveguard. Kragnos should be able to do that, no problem. Getting Kragnos to a point where he's got an easy charge into Manfred, or I might even race these guys up the board, potentially getting them into the zombies so that there's a threat on your back objective.
Sure.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm going to, before you move him, when the Savage Big Stab is coming here, I'm going to go ahead and use the reactive command ability to move the Vengorian Lord D6 inches.
Sure.
3 inches. So I will spend that command point
and just get a little bit more of a buffer.
Is there anything to do before charges?
Shoot.
many shots.
Didn't know.
Let's see. Kragnos charge for once. Kragnos is going to charge. He's going to go 5.
Sure. So he definitely does some impact hits, and then he'll have his monstrous rampage, but they are immune to the monstrous rampage at the end of charge.
So he'll do d6 for 6.
6 of them, very good. I've got 6 ups. Rerun 1s. Made one of them, rerolled. Made one of them, so 5 dead Graveguard from that. Very effective.
These guys will charge their +2.
That's right. 6 inches.
These guys have a 3-inch charge into. But realistically, I want a big charge. You get no pluses. I have a command point to spend. Ooh.
That'll do it.
I'm done with charges.
Okay, at the end of the charge phase, then we have our monstrous rampages. Again, the Graveguard are immune. And the Vengorian Lord is going to stomp. So he's going to choose the unit of Big Stab is there, and on a 2-up, they're going to take D3 mortals. Yes, 3 mortals. I'll take
3 6-ups. None passed.
Hey, a monstrous rampage.
They do have brutal beast spirits on them.
3-up again. Alright, so activating first with the Savage Big Stabus.
Pulling them out of the way of Manfred.
Sure. I'm going to go ahead and, as the Vengorian Lord is targeted here, I'm going to use all-out defense. Did you want to make a charge over here?
Oh yeah, I did. Sorry. Let me roll my charge with that one. Got those 2 out there.
Alright, so that's on the Savage Orc Moor Boys?
Yeah.
Boar Boys, rather.
Boar boys.
Nice charge rolls.
Yeah, I'll take that every day. Alright, so into attacks. I'm gonna let Kragnos defend himself. He has a 2-up. I
He
can
should
always
be able to.
give him all-out defense to ignore the Ren. So I'm not super concerned about him. I really want to get rid of the Vengorian Lord. I'm gonna give. They get +1 from the Ruby Spirit, so they're gonna be hitting on 2s. And then I'm gonna give them 6s to hit, do a mortal wound.
6s to hit or 6s to wound?
6s to wound, do a mortal wound. So it's all 4 of them. There's going to be 12 attacks. These are going to hit on 2s.
It's all
Like this, see? And these are going to wound.
Do 6s explode or anything like
No.
that? No.
These are going to wound on 3. 6s will be mortals in addition. Oof. Not great. So
2 mortals.
2 mortals, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at -1 after your +1.
Okay. So he negates 1 rend, and then he has the +1. So overall, he's canceling out your rend, which leaves him on a 3-up. Failed 3 of them.
So these are D6 damage apiece.
Okay.
Plus you already took how many?
2.
2.
Very, very good. So that's just a clean 20.
I take that every day.
All right, so I need all I need is 11 of these. Didn't quite get the 11, so the Vengorian does go down.
Get out of here.
With that, I will go ahead and activate the Graveyard. Seems like the prudent play here.
I'm going to give him all out defense.
Kragnos has all out defense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got my leader over on this side of the unit, and I've got 7 of them going that way. So that's going to be 15 attacks. They should still be wholly within from Manfred. They are easily. So they are still at +1 to hit, +1 to wound. So 2s and 3s, and what did I say? 15 attacks going into the Savage Orcs. Alright, 2s and 3s. One of them misses there. All pretty good. 3s to wound. And 6s here are mortals in addition. So that is going to be 4 mortals in addition, and then 11 hits.
So the rend is negated by their ability with their shield. So these are going to be 6s, and then I'm going to add 4 on anything I don't save for more 6s. Bunch of 6s there. So this is going to be so far. So that's 7. So that's 14 plus the 4. That's 18.
18 total damage.
4, 8. So then these will be 6-ups. Oof. Missed them all. So 18 total damage. I think
9 more dead.
it's 9 more dead.
You got 1 left with 1 wound, by my reckoning. Yep. And then I've got 10 attacks going into Kragnos. Hopefully I can chip off at least a little bit of damage here.
Not great. That is 4 misses, 5 misses. And then 3s to wound. That is going to be 3, no mortal wounds on that. 3 at -1.
I gave them all out defense, so this is going to be a straight 2-up. Missed 1.
2 damage. Did you give them all up defense? I don't think I marked that for command points.
I gotta find the dice.
So that puts you down to 2, right?
The guys back there with the zombies are in the pile.
Sure.
I never attack the Savage Board boys, so I don't really know what they do. So they got the Champas. These are going to be 3 attacks apiece, then the leader gets an extra one. So this is going to be 16. These are going to hit on 4. And then these are going to wound on 3s. So that's only 5 with no rend.
They don't get a save, so it's going to be just 5. So did the boars also have attacks?
Yes. So the tusks and hooves, they have 2 each, so that's just going to be 10. These are going to hit on 3s and wound on 3s. So that's another
Another 6.
6.
Okay. 11 dead so far. They do get a 6 up after if they're wholly within 12 of that hero, which they are. So that's 11 total 6 ups. Alright, so 11 6 ups. Past 2 of them. So that's just going to be 9 dead in total. So 5 and 4 more. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and activate with the Blood Knights over here.
I need a mark of 3 on the dice order.
So the leader is in, and all but 1 of the rest. So their swords and lances have a total of 13 attacks.
3s and 3s. That is going to be 5 at -1.
These boar boys have a shield, so it's just going to negate the -1, but it only puts them on 6s. So 5 at -1?
Yep.
6s? No? So 5 so far?
Yep. And then the mount attacks,
4s and 4s. Three at no rend.
These will be 3 5s. Made 2.
1 more damage.
So it was 5, 6
6
total.
total damage.
There'll be 6 6-ups. Made none, so that's going to kill 2 of them. Care more about that. What did you all come to see? What did you all come to see? I don't even know Kragnos' profile.
The beautiful moment we've all been waiting for.
Alright. 6 attacks.
I would just pull them, but I want to give you this.
Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 2s. 3 at -3 run.
They go through. 12 damage.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's 5. That's not quite the unit.
Come on.
Keep coming. I've got deathless minions here too.
Oh, that's right. 3 attacks. 3s. And 2s. -2 run.
They go through.
3 damage each. For
So that's 17 damage.
17. And then 6 attacks. 3s. 2s. -1 run.
Okay, so those are going to be 6s. Made none of those. How much damage?
8 damage.
8 damage. So we're at 25 damage. Let's start making some 6s.
Yeah, Kragnos. Party time.
Alright, so 25 6-ups. That's a pretty good roll, but that is a dead unit. My activation then is going to be the zombies, and they're just going to pile in here. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 of them in here with their massive 1 attack each.
6
6 to do mortals. And so that is going to be overall not a terrible showing. They got 2 hits and no wounds.
These guys are not going to pile very much. I kind of try to string them back a little bit. So it's just going to be 2 guys in, including the leader. I just did this, so I should know. So it'll be 7 attacks, hitting on 4s. Wounding on 4s. 2, no right.
With Mystic Shield, these guys are on 2 up.
And then 4 attacks, 3s. And 3s. Just 1, no run.
Made it.
That closes us out.
I believe it does. I am going to have to spend a command point over here to keep this unit whole for battle shock purposes.
Where is my... So I will have done that. I'm going to let this guy die.
How's battle shock over there?
I'm going to auto pass it with my... I should have a command point left.
Is there a leader in the unit?
Yeah, it's the front guy.
Yep.
It's an important priority here.
So you were able to get 2 of the objectives. You were able to take that back for Conquer. Is there a bonus point for a monster on Conquer?
Come on.
Okay. So we're looking at a total win of 4 points for you.
No, Nick, everybody that's watching this video wants to see me get the double and charge with Kragnos into the guy that ruined the old world. Everybody. I'm just telling you.
All right.
Come on, 6. I'm willing it. This is a 6. That's a 1. Oh, are you kidding me?
That is a tie at 1. And as I went first in the last turn, I get to go first again. Now we do have some things to do as we get into round 4 here. Top of 4. Command points reset. You're up to 12 victory points. And I think it would be the height of foolishness to not take the turn at this point.
Yeah, it feels that way.
So I will go ahead and take Soulblight into the top of round 2. I still do have a general on the battlefield in Belladama, even though my Vengorian died. So I'm at 2 command points. You're at 3 command points. Let's get battle tactics figured out. But before that,
we are now in the center.
1 objective in the middle of the board, which you are well positioned for.
Take that.
All right. Yeah, I'm definitely taking the turn here. This could be a relatively big one.
Pretty sad I didn't get this one.
We'll see how this one turns out, but I'm building enough of a point lead here that I feel pretty good. All right, definitely an interesting spot here in the top of round 4. For what started off as a slow game has now gotten really, really interesting. I am going to take the Slay the Warlord battle tactic. So that's if I kill the model chosen to be your general during the round, I'll get the points for that. And if I kill him with a monster, I get an extra point for it. One thing that we didn't note at the time that's relevant, when you killed the Vengorian Lord, you did get a bonus victory point because in Gur you do get a bonus victory point for each monster you kill.
Stop cheating me.
And
these rules, so many rules.
There are a lot of rules to learn. So, getting into this then, I've chosen my battle tactic. I'm going to try to generate an extra command point with Manfred. And he's going to go ahead and get it on 5. What would you like to do?
How do I heal a guy?
You choose the ability, you roll under their bravery, and they heal D3. If you roll equal to their bravery, you heal 1. Kragnos is bravery 10.
D3.
You 2 dice.
Oh, sorry. That was a 4.
Okay.
2.
He heals D3. Very useful.
Raw.
All right.
Earthquakes.
I am going to then go on to my casting phase, and that's going to be Manfred's going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield. He fails it on a 4, and then he's going to attempt to cast his War Scroll spell, which is a area of effect mortal wounds, and that he, I believe, fails on a 6. No successful casting there. The Necromancer is going to use the Deathly Invocations on the zombies here to get D3 back into that unit. Get 1 back into that unit. Better than nothing. And then he's going to attempt to cast Van Hells on the unit of skeletons. That's going to fail on a 4. Belladama is going to cast her War Scroll spell on the direwolves. You have exploding 6s. She gets it on a 10. Do you have a Wardock that you'd like to attempt to unbind with?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm in range on that. This guy?
Yep.
What'd she get it on?
10.
And you have how many spells left?
1 more from her.
And which one was that?
That was the exploding 6s on the direwolves.
And what's, you're not gonna what you're gonna cast last. That's fine. Exploding 6s meaning they do 2 hits?
Yeah. And then she's going to attempt to cast Lichen Curse, which is going off on a 10 as well.
No, she's fine.
Okay. So 18-inch range on the Lichen Curse means that that's my only eligible target. It's that unit right there. D3 mortals, and if any models get slain, I add a unit of direwolves. D3 mortal wounds, 2 mortal wounds on that unit. And don't they have a 6-up?
Oh,
and then at that point we can go ahead and get into the movement phase.
The big stabbers are going to move 6.
D6.
D6.
Okay.
3. This is a tough move because dragging the zombie is dragging.
All right, and with that, we've got some relatively important charges to make. The first charge that I'm going to attempt is going to be Manfred. And he fails it on a 2, so I'm going to go ahead and command point rebuild that.
D3, can't cast spells.
And he gets it on a 7. So he's going to go as far that way as he can. And then I'll start making other charges here. The Blood Knights here by the big Sabas are going to attempt to go in. They got an 8.
knock out those wolves.
That's fine. So you're holding the objective.
Oh,
Good with that. That unit of Blood Knights is going to attempt their charge. And they got an 8 as well, so they're just going to slam in. So I definitely want this front rank closer to this guy than to Manfred.
Sure.
And that is going to be it for my charges. At the end of the charge phase, Manfred is going to use his Monstrous Rampage. He's going to, on a 2-up, do D3 mortals to your Wardock.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 2 mortals.
2 6-ups. 1 goes to.
And then I will go ahead and activate first with this unit of Blood Knights. They are going to go ahead and pop all out attack.
So these are 16 lances and blades, now on 2s and 3s. Missed 2 of them. And 3s to wound.
Ooh.
Oh man. That is...
Not what you want.
so that is 5
These
at -1.
They were going to say.
So that is 2 damage each, 10 damage there.
Any more?
Yeah.
And then the hooves are now on 3s and 4s. That's going to be 5 at no rent.
Five 6-ups. I made 1.
Okay, so 1 damage each on those, so it's a total of 14 damage on the unit.
Fourteen 6-ups. It would have been a good damage roll. So that's 12 going through. There's only... I think there's...
1 left with 3. They're
no,
4 wounds
so,
each, right?
yeah, so that's only... One's gonna survive. Yeah. Nice. I'm gonna
One stays
kill...
alive.
That guy's gotta go.
Yep.
Was he within 3?
I can check here. It doesn't look like he is, but... No, he's not.
Okay, so that's he's just gonna pop, and then the other 2 on 4 up, the unit is gonna get D3s. This 1, this 2, D3.
6 damage. Alright, so these are 6s, 6s re-rolling once.
Made 1.
Made 1, so 5 damage total. That's going to kill 1 and put 2 damage on another.
Triumph time! Don't let me forget it, I'm probably going to put triumph over there.
Sure.
I'm gonna pile in an attack. Because he's a monster, I'm gonna give the 6s to hit, or 6s to win are gonna be mortals.
Sure.
So this is gonna be, my leader is, he isn't. So it's be 21 attacks, 4s, and then when I roll, yeah, We'll just see. It will probably do like 1 damage. 1 force. Any 6s on my next roll, we'll do mortals, and 4s, we'll do damage. 1 6.
Okay.
And then
Any rend on those?
no. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, and 1 damage so far?
Yep.
3 ups.
Wow.
So failed one of those.
1 damage.
Alright, so 6 ups. And then the first damage he takes per
Face
phase.
is ignored, so he is right as right. Haven't fought over there, right?
Mm-mm.
Alright, they're going to put all their attacks into those boar boys.
Sure.
They're not... There's no way I can get them fully within 12, right? Well, actually, pylons are so goofy now. I should be able to. Fully within 12 now, right?
Looks good.
Alright, so they're going to be hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s.
16 lances and blades. So that is 7. Or excuse me, yeah, 7, 10, 11 at -1.
11 6 ups.
Pretty good.
I see 3 so far, so that's
2
double
damage
damage each. So that's 3, 6, 8. So that's 16, 11. 5 more 6 ups. Made 1.
That's the unit, isn't it?
Yeah. The pinning really doesn't work good. This one.
Your activation.
We're gonna go with the Wardock
Sure.
into. He hits 1 attack,
Ooh.
but he is on a monster, so he's gonna give himself +1. This will be 3s and 3s.
I will go ahead and activate Manfred then, and
Do you want to switch your attacks at all?
that's what I need to figure out here. He's +1/+1 on everything. How many wounds does that guy have left?
He's got 4.
He's got 4 left, so
Yeah.
5 total. So I'm going to put all my attacks into the Wardock. I think it's the sensible thing to do.
We're
It's my
just gonna
battle
take them off.
tactic. Okay. And your activation over here.
Yeah, so this will just be 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. 1 at -2.
Okay. And that puts them on a 5 up. Made it. I can still activate with the zombies if I choose to.
But they have, oh yeah, because you can pile back.
But Alright, so I'm going to do the Bonesplitterz thing.
Sure.
I don't even need to get in combat range. So broken. So he's just within 3 inches.
Sure.
may or may not be good, but it's your activation then.
I'm done.
They can pile in if they want.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely. So it's just going to be one guy. It's going to be 3 attacks, 4s and 4s. That's whiff on the first, and then 2 attacks, 4s and 4s. Nope. That's turn, I believe.
It's almost turn. So I'm going to complete my battle tactic. How many of your units? So you're going to spend your triumph here. Well, you can roll it first, right?
Yeah, but I don't think they.
It's an auto fail.
6 bravery, lost 3. Yeah, I can roll first. So I'll roll.
Yeah, roll.
But I'm -1, right?
No.
Okay.
Blood Knight's not give -1. Go ahead and roll.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Captain Triumph. So I killed 1, 2 of your units. Is that correct this turn?
It is correct.
Okay. So then I'm going to be able to bring the Grave Guard back on a 3-up.
Got it.
So I can bring back a half-strength unit of 10 Grave Guard. And so I scored my battle tactic with +1, so that's 3. I control the center objective and control more objectives than you, so that's 2, so a total of 5 points there.
What's the score?
We are now at 20-13, going into the bottom of 4 Bonesplitterz.
So, I don't think I can probably win on points at this point, but Kragnos could definitely get rid of.
Well, your grand strategy is also worth 5.
Oh, sure. Kragnos wants to get rid of Manfred.
Sure.
Alright, let's start the turn. I'm going to do Bring It Down. When you reveal this battle tactic, pick one enemy monster on the battlefield. You complete this battle tactic that you just destroyed during the turn.
Okay. Manfred, one would assume.
Oh, yeah. He's going to try to give him Bless.
Heroic action.
I am. So the Bless didn't go off. I rolled it on the table instead of on the camera.
Sure.
Trying to give him +1 to cast. He's going to try to give himself +1 to cast. Nope. The other guy's going to try to give himself +1 to cast. He will. He is going to try. Oh, my heroic action is going to be that +1. That one game.
The Finest Hour.
Finest Hour, yeah.
I will go ahead and Finest Hour with Manfred as well.
Sure. So he is going to try to cast Mystic Shield onto Craigie.
You're at 3 command points at 1.
He got it on an 8.
Okay. Mystic Shield from this guy. Manfred's going to attempt to unbind.
It's on 9, sorry.
Okay. Fizz.
So we got Mystic Shield. That guy's got Protect Dance. And then he is going to try to cast Arcane Bolt. Actually, yeah. Arcane Bolt. He's going to get it on a 10.
Okay. Attempt to unbind with Manfred. That's your last cast, right?
Yeah.
Hit.
Into movement. Need a 7. Big charge.
Yeah. I was trying to think if I could move away, but I can't because I'm in combat.
Oh, he was
Command
ready
point
command point to reroll. Ah.
And there, Kragnos, it's Lord of Earthquakes.
What a bummer. What a bummer. I mean, let's just call it.
Sure. I think with him not getting in, that means you're not going to make your battle tactic this turn. You're not going to score any points on objectives this turn.
Let's just roll for priority here.
Sure.
Got a 5.
I got 5, so I would have taken it anyway.
I can't even get. Let's see what he would have done.
If Kragnos had made it in, he would have gotten himself 3 mortal wounds, one of which would have been ignored.
I think he would have got out of dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
good game.
Yeah, it was good. I think the diversity of your army really helped you to get more, battle tactics.
Yeah, the secondary objectives really favor having not just a monster in your list, but having multiple effective monsters in your list, and being able to turn Belladama into a monster got me kind of a couple of those where she could count as a monster on things.
The Vengorian Lord did nothing again, I just want to remind you.
Perfectly valid, except he ate an entire round of combat from one of your 2 most powerful combat units, so I'll take that.
Alright.
Kragnos did exactly what we expected Kragnos to do, which is unfortunate.
I mean, it's just hard. He doesn't move very far. He got pinned in early. He wiped out that unit that pinned in. I never got a double turn. If he would have gotten a double turn and been potentially able to get to... I never got a double turn. I never won priority other than first turn in the second, and I gave it to you.
Yeah, he passed it to me.
So he's just always stuck. I mean, I could have been more aggressive with him early, but I mean, what would that have done me? Nothing except putting him in the middle of the board.
What impressions do you have about, first off, about 3rd edition? Not this battle plan, we'll do that next, but 3rd edition.
Honestly, some stuff gets pretty pedantic in, like, picking a battle tactic that I don't really love it. That I really like that stuff happens from unit leaders now. I think all that is a better thing. I like that you can only spend. You don't miss the re-rolling ones from Mystic Shield and like the old things.
Mathing out the save bonuses becomes a little bit of a mini game as you try to anticipate what kind of attacks are going to be coming in, and you figure out how many save bonuses you really want to stack. I feel like battle tactics, I love the idea of them. I love that the game is not just about objectives now, and there's really kind of 2 ways to go about the game. But I wish there was more diversity in the battle tactics, because it's going through 5 rounds, you're picking a big chunk of the available list. And in this case, by the end of the game, there's one where you need to control 2 objectives, so that's literally impossible toward the end of the game. And those 2 objectives need to be in your opponent's territory anyway, so that would make it impossible anyway. So that removes 1 from what is already a small list. If you don't have monsters in your list, if you haven't built around monsters, some of them become really unattractive to take.
You really absolutely have to have 2 monsters. I mean, there's so many bonuses to having monsters. All the battle traits really emphasize monsters scoring extra points. I mean, the fact that you can always convert another guy into a monster for stuff is nice, but like I mean, when I say they're pedantic, like I retreated Kragnos to a corner because I needed to score 1. Right. You put some guys in the middle of the table. I put some guys back to score 2 because I mean, they're kind of really, they're even more awkward with this battle plan because
for sure.
You're trying to stay away early because stuff's just in your territory, and there's nothing until later on in the game to motivate you to start pushing towards the middle.
And that's definitely how this battle plan played out for us this time, where it was just wait until it matters, and then we're bringing our whole armies in. And that's really what happened. We did bring our whole armies in eventually, but contrast it to most second edition battle plans, and you want to get on the objectives early and get that lead, and all that matters is holding those objectives early and building up that early lead, and then you win from there. I like that this does force you into a different mode of play, but I'm eager to see how some of the other battle plans in 3rd edition play out for sure.
Yeah, we definitely got to play more. The heroic actions I felt were a little blah.
Yes.
Like, especially, again, because we were so far away from each other, there wasn't a lot of wounds happening early. We were consistently just rolling for 4 up extra command points.
And then not using those command points in many cases.
Yeah. I mean, you get a lot of command points, which is nice.
Yes.
That's no longer is it just like you feel like you're starving, and then some armies have just way too many. But I don't know. I don't not like it, but I wouldn't say that I'm like, this game is way better now. I think it's a little bit slower, especially early on when we're trying to learn these rules. I mean, maybe it will become automatic, but like, I'm never gonna have all the battle tactics. Like, I'll have some of them committed to memory, but
by the time you memorize this list, most likely we'll have another list and another realm to play, and we'll have a different set of battle tactics to deal with. So you're always going to have... now, when we do get the General's Handbook, we do have the cardboard cutout tokens to help with that a little bit, but it's definitely something where it breaks the flow of the game as you take a pause at the start of every turn to figure that out.
GW, keep 3rd edition around for like 5 years.
Mm.
Like, I just feel like if you're gonna throw all this stuff out there, don't change it. I know don't change it again in 2 years. Like, let us really get into this, really like milk it for everything it's worth before we're forced to change.
Yeah, I'm excited about 3rd edition because one of the things I mentioned earlier, in 2nd edition, the only way an army can succeed is if it can play the objective game in a strong way. And I think in 3rd edition, there's opportunities to deny secondaries from your opponent and score heavy on secondaries, and you can score just as many points on your secondaries and your grand objective as you can on your primary objectives. So I like that there are now some options for armies to play in different ways, to bring different things to the table. That said, the most exciting aspect of the game is contesting objectives and fighting over those objectives, and so they're oftentimes what's being replaced in that objective game is the replacement is going to be a little bit less interactive and a little bit less clashing over the board.
Yeah.
Although this is one battle plan, this is our first battle plan, this tends to be, from what I can see, probably a little bit of a slow battle plan. There are probably some battle plans that are completely opposite and a lot more action.
I mean, some people might just push up. I mean, there's some armies that might... I don't see how it works that you just push up and wreck stuff. Like, that seems foolish. But, I mean, they literally call it a vice, which just means that, I mean, it's doing exactly what it wants. I mean, frequently in 2nd edition, games are over by turn 3.
Sure.
Because there is so much forces in the middle. Here
this game has barely started
sat
by turn
back. 3. Yeah, we literally turn 3 we had one combat phase.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say that I think Soulblight is very strong for 3rd edition. There's such a diversity of units you get to bring. The rules are very good. Casting is good. The monsters are decent. Vengorian Lord still sucks. Not impressed with Kragnos so far, but I'll try him in other stuff.
Bonesplitterz ultimately were one of those armies that really played the objective game well. When they had the ability to bring 220 wounds or 300 wounds, they really played the objective game well. And when you start to shift the game away from being the objective game purely, they're definitely going to suffer in that respect.
Now, granted, I brought a 700-point model that never really got out of his own territory, but That's what we've always said about Kragnos. Like, you could have thrown a lot more stuff to block him in. I mean, yes, you lose that inevitably, but
if he's killing one unit a turn, he's not getting his points worth.
no. It's just really hard to make him effective. He needs to be able to... I mean, I guess you could get an enhancement where you get that 8-up fly that you can cast.
It's tough for a lot of destruction armies to get that 8-up fly reliably. Bonesplitterz is maybe the exception there. It's got some play there, but it doesn't make him faster, it just makes him fly. And when you're moving 10 inches, even if you've got fly, that base has to get past your friendly models. Or more than 3 inches past an enemy screen. It's tough.
And then the one last thing I'll say is, typically when I play these, I want to get across the board and pin. The Blood Knights are now just such a natural foil for that. The new pile-in rules are rough for trying to pin now. Like, you can't just tag on the end and say everyone's going to have to try to pile towards that one model. Now, because it's a unit, that the lock and pin strategy is just really not that great anymore.
The combat over here was a perfect example of it. I had the Blood Knights, they charged in, and then I wanted to reposition them for command abilities. And I was able to just flow them down your line in a way that you couldn't do before.
Manfred is insane still.
He's just arguably the best model in the game right now.
He's just so good.
380 points.
If you don't have shooting, there's no way to deal with him. Like, maybe if Kragnos charges in and rolls a 6 and a 3.
Well, and the fact that he now gets monstrous rampages too, so he can charge in, do a monstrous rampage, like turning off turning off command abilities, or doing his D3 mortals, destroying the faction terrain, whatever he wants to do in that phase, and then teleport away if it's not advantageous. He's really top tier MVP.
I did have a small window. Literally, if I get the double turn, 3 into 4, you're in a lot of trouble because those guys were still fully healthy. Kragnos could have moved into Manfred if that would have happened.
Based on your charge rolls, you were out.
Until the last one.
Right. Well, good game, Justin.
Yeah, great game.
Thanks everybody for joining. We will have another battle report up relatively soon, and we're really excited to keep cranking out these 3rd edition games because we're really anxious to learn the rules and to start grinding this out so we can be ready for tournaments when they start rolling.
Who likes giants? I'm bringing giants next time.
Woo!
Let's do this.